To the normal player, beating Minecraft is seen as simply as killing the Ender Dragon. For the more advanced player, it might be collecting every single advancement, but not me. You see, being the incredibly sad, no-life, high school teenage gamer that I am, I want to see just how far I could push the limits of survival Minecraft in one world and completely vanilla. Enjoy the video. My world started just like all worlds do, the world creation menu. I kept starting and quitting worlds until I got my ideal spawn of a desert and a plains. Although deserts are quite rare in modern Minecraft, I'm playing in 1.16.1, a version of the Nether update from 2020. I'll explain later why I'm playing on this version, but for now, let's just get started. My absolute first goal in the world was to kill the Ender Dragon and obtain a few Elytra, as having endgame equipment at the start of the world would make everything else both easier and faster. This was the reason for the desert and the plains, because it would allow me to get villages and desert temples, which is a reliable method to beat the game quickly.
What? Yes! Both. Yes. Finally. Am I just going to raid this temple first? Pickaxe. Oh, there's a blacksmith as well. This is a good village. What? Yes. Yes.
Now that we're in the Nether, I need to explain a few more rules that I've set up for myself. Although the world siege was random, I'm still allowing myself to use chunk base to find structures and biomes, as I don't want to be wasting time looking for things instead of making progress. With this, I was able to find a treasure bastion and loot the bottom section with a pile of gold blocks. And before you guys start commenting that the top section is faster, I know that, but I didn't a year ago. And yes, this was recorded over a year ago, this project is huge. The gold from the bastion was enough to supply the needed pearls to beat the game, so I left for the fortress where things didn't quite go as planned.
Oh my gosh. Like, there's nothing else I can do. Oh!
What I did here was quit the game and load back into the world. This gives you 3 seconds of spawn immunity and is what allowed me to live. Although some people may not like me abusing this feature, it's just another example from earlier of wanting to play the game without wasting time, as this would have only meant I would have to run back to the fortress to collect my stuff. After all, this isn't a hardcore series, so cheating death like this is only a time save. So with my blaze rods and ender pearls now gathered, I went back to the overworld to do some fishing for more food and traded for some arrows before following my eyes vent to the stronghold and into the end. The ender dragon was killed with relative ease. Again, this was over a year ago, so I didn't know how to one cycle, but it still went fairly quickly with the classic bow method. Luckily, the gateway spawned me almost directly next to an end city with ship, which meant I could get my first elytra. Following this, I grabbed some shulker boxes and 2 more elytra before using chunk base to find a gateway to go back to spawn. With my first goal now checked off the list, it's time to pick up the pace a little and get max diamond gear with an automatic villager breeder, training hall and 2 iron farms. This is only the first of many bases to come, and is meant to act as an efficient early game starter base for gear, food and XP. Now that I have basic supplies, it's time I tell you what the first true goal of this world is. You see, to 100% in the game, at some point I require every armor trim combination and every beacon. What do these have in common? Diamonds. 30,708 to be exact, so that's what we're gonna do. The first step in this process was getting a beacon. Not a diamond one, but a regular one, for the haste 2 effect. So I went to the Nether Fortress to get 3 skulls, and fought the incredibly easy Wither to obtain the first Nether Star of the world. I then set up my beacon at Y12 to start beacon mining for diamonds. I did this for a while until I realized how inefficient it was. If I were to continue the speed of 140 diamonds per hour, it would take me over 200 hours to get them.
Should work.
So I went to look for another method that would hopefully work.
Oh! That's so cool!
The new method I had in mind needed huge amounts of slime, redstone, pistons, observers, TNT, and ancient debris. And since I hate my mental well-being, I chose to do the hardest first. To mine ancient debris efficiently, the TNT method has to be used, as beds are unstackable items and set fire to the area. To get TNT, I built this creeper farm by Mushoden and crafted the gunpowder produced with the sand I had previously shoveled in the base time-lapse. With this, I went to the Nether to get all the ancient debris that I needed. For the slime blocks, I built a temporary slime farm in a swamp and AFK'd it for a couple hours. All that was left on the list now was easily made from excess materials in the beacon mine, excluding the quartz, but that was just a quick 10-minute trip to the Nether. When the tunnel were built, there was just one more problem: the mobs. Because it only takes one creeper explosion or a skeleton with a flame bow and this machine is gone. I would turn it to peaceful mode, but past me is trolling and locked it to hard. Luckily mob switches exist, which is basically pseudo peaceful mode. So I quickly built the Silverfish mob switch in a stronghold and then got to mining. This is so slow. I don't even know how many hours I've spent doing this. I'll put it on screen, but it's too slow. This is how many shulkers I need to fill full of diamond ore, and that's all I've done. It's just so slow. At this point in the challenge, I was going to give up. Without the use of carpet bots, the tunnel board just couldn't get me diamonds fast enough due to a smaller render distance. But I'm a sea creature with way too much determination, so instead of giving up, I searched for yet another method that this time will surely get me every single diamond that I needed. Eventually, I came across a video by SB737 where he used a machine called the Infinibore, a tunnel bore that warps static TNT into a wall to blow up huge amounts of area at once. And with a range of 500,000 blocks, it could get me all the diamonds I required. So I found the creator of the bore, Cubicmetre, and watched both of his videos. 4 times each. So with my new plan, well planned, I proceeded to start gathering the insane amount of resources it needed. 55 stacks of white glass was obtained by shoveling more desert and crafting the glass with bones from soul sand valleys. 15 stacks of white concrete was similar, but also had me travel to a gravelly mountain to make the powder. 15 stacks of observers needed extra redstone and quartz, as I'd run out from the beacon mine. Luckily, there was loads of redstone ore in the tunnel bore area that was readily available for use. If you want to see how I got the rest of the resources, you can pause on screen and read the descriptions. Anyway, with the materials gathered, I set up a 6-stage plan to get the Infinibore up and running.
Okay, step 1. Step 1. P.
And with step 1 out of the way, we can move on to step 2.
Work out what needs mined.
You see, the Infinibore actually has to be aligned specifically in the world in order to work. By pressing F3 and G, you can see the chunk borders in your world. The red and green square you see here in the schematic have to line up perfectly within 2 chunks like this. I'm not bothered to go into any more detail, but if you want to know more, I'll link an unlisted video in the description where I'll explain it and give tips if you want to build it yourself. Anyway, on to step 3, mining out the area. I will make use of TNT driven flying machines for this. Unfortunately, I can't find the tutorial I used for this, but the rest of the farms and other things like that will be in the description. To be able to run the Jeepers without them getting blown up, I did have to remove this bit of mountain, which was nothing that a beacon couldn't handle.
Day 500.
It's worth noting I am using the easy place feature just because of how technically complicated this build is. We're now onto the part of the video which was the main cause of this taking a year to make, the running and debugging of the machine. Pressing the go button was the easy bit, but then going to change things slightly and trying over and over only for it to blow up was the hard bit. Also, yes, I'm using backups because if I didn't, you wouldn't see this video until after Hytale releases. But honestly, looking back, I'm actually quite happy that I'm as stubborn as I am, because I'm pretty sure most people would have given up by this point. And I almost did. Just listen to these clips.
Don't know what's happening. I don't get it. I don't get it. What's going on?
I even took a small break for another video, but I still kept going. Adjustment after adjustment, I got better and better results. The TNT got further that time, or the conveyor started moving. I was making progress, even if it was slow.
141 seconds, so just over 2 minutes and like 20 seconds per tick, or per, like what would normally happen in a second is having every 2 minutes and 21 seconds.
But eventually, 2 months after finishing building it, this happened. After spending hours going through the tunnel, I'd amassed over 12,000 diamonds. At this rate, I was getting about 1 or 2,000 diamonds every hour, which was a huge improvement to the tunnel bore. Unfortunately, at the rate I was collecting diamonds and the amount of tunnel I still had left to explore, which was about just less than half of the 20,000 full length of the tunnel, I would be about 10,000 diamonds short. However, Mojang decided as I was doing this to add 2 new armor trims to the game. This actually lowered my total. Yeah, it turns out I did the maths wrong, and even with the new armor trims, the total I need is only 29,124. I say only like it's not a lot. It is a lot, but it's 1,500 lower, so I can't complain. So if I'm going to be 10,000 short, you might be thinking to yourself, Squid, why don't you make the tunnel longer? Short answer, the machine blew up. Long answer, even if I was to rebuild the machine, it would start at the start of the tunnel and try to blow up what was already being blown up. So it'd be more efficient to make an entirely new one altogether, which leads me to my next point. There is a better version of the machine. The materials are way easier to get, it runs faster, has a controllable height, it can start from anywhere in the tunnel. Yeah, that would have been helpful. And you know the worst part is? It was released the day I finished building mine. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the process of explaining everything again, so let's just go into a time lapse and get this thing built. So, my PC ran out of space and crashed the game. I wish I was joking. Surprisingly, I was able to fetch the replay file and save on my spare hard drive at 1 in the morning, but I didn't know if my world had even saved or corrupted. So all I could do was load it up and hope for the best. But it worked. Apart from the fact the replay file crashed the game. Yes! Yes! On my days it worked. With this that I did today, I'm 161 diamonds away, which is 2 stacks and 33. I'm gonna get the rest of the diamonds in the new caves because I've not really done much in the new caves. 4. We have 4. So much faster. Okay, this is it. All of this. That's crazy. Hi, thanks for watching episode 1. As you can probably tell, this video took hundreds of hours to make, so it would be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe and like the video, as it helps me quite a lot.